What is going on, everybody? It's the Beast Bailey, and I'm back on YouTube. Yes, back on the YouTube, first video of 2023. First and foremost, I just want to say, what a year so far. Clemson's already lost. Alabama's already lost. You know, can't ask for much better than that to start the year. Yeah, and talking about Alabama, there's reports coming out of Tuscaloosa, that Tyler Buchner is going to be starting against Southern Florida. Look. If Jalen Milroe can play against Southern Florida, Jalen Milroe should be starting against Southern Florida, not Tyler Buchner. I don't understand what starting Buchner is going to help unless Alabama is going to play Buchner the rest of the year, or start getting him some game time, some real game time. Listen, I know Alabama lost to Texas. I understand that. Trust me, I get it. You know, Alabama, Nick Saban, greatest coach of all time. I get it. You lost to Texas at home, but it happens. Listen, the dynasty is over, Alabama fans. The dynasty is over. It's over. So, now, prove me wrong. The only way Bama is going to prove me wrong about the dynasty being over is Alabama has to win the Natty this year. Because listen, I don't think Nick Saban's winning another championship at Bama. I just don't see it happening. That's just my opinion. That was my opinion before the season started. That's my opinion now. And honestly, Bama has some quarterback problems. Now, their offensive line has some problems. Texas showed them some problems. Now, can Alabama win out and make the playoff? Yeah, they could. But very not likely. Very not likely that's going to happen. Now, the play at Texas A&M, that's a tough game. Last time that Jalen Milroe played them, they about lost last year. They did lose in 2021 at Texas A&M. Last time they played there, they did in fact lose. Which was probably Bama's last great team, was that 21 team. Bama wasn't really Bryce Young was their offense last year. Let's just be honest. But the 21 Bama team was really their last good, great team. So you got A&M. You play LSU and Tennessee at home. That's helpful. You do play Ole Miss. I don't know if that one's at Ole Miss or not, but that game could be interesting. Really, I have no idea who's going to win the West this year out of the SEC. This is the last year of the West and East divisions. I have no idea who's going to come out of the West. The East is looking like it's going to be either Georgia or Tennessee. But more on Tennessee later. Tennessee, we got to have a talk about you. But, yeah, Georgia, Tennessee, probably the two front runners. Just being honest here, I'm just saying. But for Alabama, could they drop the A&M game? Yeah, they could. Could they drop Tennessee? Yep. Lose LSU? Yeah, could lose to Ole Miss. Could lose all them games. You never know. But the quarterback problem at Alabama, Jalen Milroe is. My interpretation of him coming into the season, he is probably one of the most athletic quarterbacks I've ever seen play. The dude has a phenomenal athletic ability to escape the pocket. His pocket presence awareness to scramble is there, but his pocket presence awareness in terms of trying to make the deep ball throws, trying to read the defense, it's not there. It's not great. Jalen Milroe is just another Anthony Richardson. Now, Anthony Richardson, looks like he's doing good in the NFL, but at Florida, he never did. I mean, he went, 7-5, 6-6 his 2 years he was starting. I mean, Anthony Richardson wasn't no world beater. I mean, Joe Milton throws the ball 90 yards down the field. That don't matter if you can't read a defense and you can't make the right play call. If you can't do your check downs, you can't read a defense, you can't do any of that. That don't matter. It don't matter if you throw a ball 100 yards down the field. I mean, it don't matter. So with Milroe, he's a great athletic quarterback. He's got that Cam Newton speed. He's got that Tim Tebow physicality about him. He got that Jalen Hurts in him when it comes to rushing the football. But throwing the ball, it's just not there. It's just not there. And also one of Alabama's problems is their offensive line. The offensive line for Alabama broke down tremendously against Texas. And Texas defense looked really good, holding Bama to 24 points. And really, if you want to beat Alabama in this day and age, that's what you got to do. You got to normally hold them to, that type of number, 27, 24, 21, 18, 14, 17. You got to hold them to that around. If Bama gets into the 30s and into the low 40s, then it's gonna be harder to win the game and such and such. Now, like I said, Alabama could win out and win the national championship. That could happen, but I just don't see it right now. And I'm a Georgia fan, clearly. Georgia fan, big-time Georgia fan. Is there a clear number one team in the country? I think you got two teams who have the best wins in college football. Florida State and Texas have the best wins. The current top two teams, which is Georgia and Michigan, they have just taken care of business. They have rotated a lot of players in and out. Georgia's starting offense hasn't even played a full 3 quarters of football yet in each game. Carson Beck has played literally 2.5 quarters in both games. He hasn't even played a full game yet as a starter. But it just comes down to, with Alabama, it just comes down to, can they get the offensive line figured out? Now, with the news kind of circulating around Bama is that Tyler Buchner is going to be starting for the Southern Florida game. You got Ty Simpson, Tyler Buchner, Jalen Milroe. Look, I don't know if Tyler Buchner is the answer. I'm not saying that he's going to come in and be a world beater. I just think Bama is in a situation right now that they haven't been in a long time. And I think people are just trying to figure out, hey, what can they do to succeed? Maybe they got to go to a true freshman. Maybe, they just got to salvage the year and just go with what they got and just hope for the best, which is a possibility. But at the end of the day, it's Alabama. They're a great team. They're the most talented team. So many top 3 classes, over the last decade. So I mean, it's a talented team. They got a lot of great pieces, but this year the quarterback spot is just the weak link on the offense. The offensive line's got some problems. They can't really run the ball. All Alabama talked about in the all season was murder ball, running the ball, running down people's throats, using the quarterback to run. That's all Bama talked about, and they couldn't do it against Texas. So we'll see what happens with Alabama this year. Supposedly Tyler Buchner is starting at Southern Florida. We'll see. I don't know. He might come in and light it up, or he might come in and lose. Who knows? But peace. Talk to y'all later.